I'm just afraid I'm gonna take a shit and then she's just gonna pop it back into my butthole. Like, I would be terrified. Like, no, I just shit that shit.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Los Wise Guys podcast. I am one of your hosts, Eslam, a.k.a. Rock God of the Sun, accompanied by Disco, a.k.a. Emperor Disco. What's up, bro?
What's up? What's up?
His name is also Dan. I was supposed to say Dan, but I said Disco. I'm just so used to it, but it's Dan, a.k.a. Emperor Disco.
Emperor Disco, a.k.a. Danny, or Lord Disco, or apparently just Dan.
No. We killed Lord Disco. You're the Emperor now. You
I got a promotion.
evolved.
I got a
You
promotion.
had an evolution. You went from Disco, you evolved into Lord Disco, and this is your final evolution, Emperor Disco. Well, maybe there could be another one.
Yeah,
There was just like a little
God
sprite
Disco
of you, and it's like, what?
I went from owning a city-state to now having a whole kingdom. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought of a
Next
little
thing I'll-
sprite
next
of
thing
you,
I'll
and then
be,
it was just highlighting. It's like, what? Lord Disco, he's evolving. And then you hear
Yeah.
the
call
whole
me God Emperor Disco.
God Disco or Dictator Disco, maybe? We'll see.
No, God Emperor. It's a reference to Dune.
Oh, okay. Also, last but not least, we have Danny, a.k.a. Papa Sun Killer.
Killer. See, that's one thing I want to call you out on. See, I come out with the hard ERs, Eslam. There's one thing people know
But
me
your name,
for.
I've always spelled it L.
I know. I've always corrected you, and you always forget.
Damn. That's Alzheimer's for you.
It
All right,
really
Papa
is.
Sun Killer.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
My
Thank
bad.
you.
Of your Alzheimer's, did this old man say podcast in the beginning?
He did. I was letting it go, but he 100%
Yes.
did say podcast.
I did say podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
I
Sound
think
like
my
Cartman
lip
out there.
twitched at the same time I was trying to say it. And that's what came out. It is what it is.
You're having a
I'm
rough
dying.
day. You're having a rough day.
Oh, you
Internet
have no
issues,
idea.
mic issues. You can't speak.
Oof.
we got you. We're here for you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's
Those wise guys. We gotta stick together.
goddamn.
You gotta try.
All right, so this is our new episode format. We just jump into the main topic after the intro, and then we get into some fun shit later on. So this main topic is going to be pretty fun. We each brought to the table 3 urban legends / myths, and we're just going to discuss them in all their glory. So let's jump in. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
I got a pretty interesting one. This first one is a Amazonian mythological creature called the Yakuruna, and it's described as being hairy with a backward-facing head and deformed feet. The Yakuruna is a man-like creature accompanied by a serpent and riding a crocodile. It's considered by many to be a god who has the power to change into an attractive man. But this one first stuck out to me just because the original site that I saw said they had a backward head and backward feet. I was like, that is weird. And they live in water. And then when I read this, that it's riding a black crocodile, I was just like, what the hell?
What's more interesting to me is that it transformed into a handsome man.
Yeah, with all
most
that going
urban
on.
legends, it's pretty women and all this stuff that get the men, and
damn
this
Julia
time it's the
Roberts.
handsome man. Yeah, right. Pretty women.
And also it says locals believe that Yakuruna can transform into an Amazon river dolphins, which are attracted to the odor of blood and menstruating women. Once the woman is found, a Yakuruna will transform into a handsome and alluring man who then use aphrodisiacs to kidnap her and bring her into his kingdom in the depths of the river. The Yakuruna, everybody. Amazonians are crazy. Too much peyote.
I was mesmerized because, as you're reading it and you're leading into the book, and you were getting closer. It's you're just getting closer and closer, telling us more insane things.
So
I was terrified for a second.
So this thing just kidnaps and rapes women. That's cool.
Apparently, with aphrodisiacs and just straight kidnaps. Yeah, it's you ever see anybody that's super attractive and you're menstruating, you better watch out. It's probably Yakuruna.
In the Amazon, yeah, don't do that.
There's a crocodile nearby just waiting. Like, what's that crocodile doing?
Don't go swimming in the Amazon River if you're menstruating, ladies.
It rides up on a black crocodile like it's surfing, just like...
What's up, baby?
Hey, pretty
Kevin
mama.
Sorbo with huge blonde locks.
Kevin Sorbo. Of all the people.
Who is that?
It's Hercules.
Hercules.
That's the 90s Hercules.
Oh, wow.
It's 2022, and that's your reference.
Jeez.
I'm a 90s
You could have said
baby.
Jason Momoa.
That's my quintessential, like, attractive man.
Wouldn't Jason Momoa make a good 90s Hercules?
I could see
Well,
that.
they already tried having him be Conan, and that didn't work.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And
But
they
that
let the
was a
Rocky
bad
Hercules.
Can't win them all. He's
No, that
really
was
good in
bad.
that show, C, though. I really enjoyed his character. I stand with Baba Voss.
Okay. Is that
All right,
another
man.
creature?
All right.
It's a reference to the show C that I like.
That sounded like another creature from the Amazon. The Baba
I feel like
Voss.
that's just something you just chant at a crowd, and they're like, all right, man, do you.
It's like, okay.
Oh, that's what you say to call the Yakuruna.
Why does that sound like that really could be it, though? It's
you're like
it's like
Baba
saying-
Voss.
It's like saying Bloody Mary in a mirror 3
Yeah.
times. You go to the Amazonian River and say it 3
Just
times.
like drizzle your menstrual blood and just say Baba Voss 3 times, and then the Yakuruna comes.
Dude,
Yeah,
somebody
pe-
shouts Baba Voss, I'm just walking away. I don't know what that person's doing. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to see it.
Smart
like,
man.
all right, man.
Smart man.
Damn.
Next thing you know, Kevin Sorbo's running up on him. He's like, bro, you haven't been around since the 90s. I'm out.
And why you so goddamn handsome? Like,
He's got the strong jaw, the luscious blonde locks, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's the first person I ever saw at Comic-Con, by the way. I don't know if... I'm
yeah.
sure you don't remember Eslam.
No.
But when we were waiting in line for our first ever Comic-Con, remember we had to wait around the block
yeah,
for the first one? I remember waiting outside. We were next to, like, the Javits Center, and then we were by, like, this fence. And then as we're waiting, Kevin Sorbo shows up, and I'm like, that's 90s Hercules. And nobody else saw him.
definitely don't remember that, but
Yeah.
I believe you though.
Yeah, he was right by us. I'm like, that's 90s Hercules.
You can literally tell me anything that we did in our past, and I'll be like, I believe you because I don't remember.
There's probably a picture with all of you standing together.
just chilling with him and Xena. Just
Yeah,
we did see Xena that year, too.
Oh my god!
I think that I
I wish
remember.
I wish I
because
saw
I find
Xena.
because she's like really hot.
Yeah.
So
I want to hear her do her little war chant, like.
imagine she does that in bed.
I would be so confused. Just like, did you just nut or just what? What just happened?
Yeah, like
Is it a bird?
actually,
Turning into a
that's
bird.
that's a One Piece laugh before One Piece laugh existed. that's definitely
that's
like a
true.
One Piece
That's true.
character laugh.
And while she does that in bed, you have Kevin Sorbo telling you about his 10 trials. All right, I'll go next. I also have a mythological creature. So we all have heard of the Boogeyman. But have you heard of the Bunny Man?
The Bunny Man.
The Bunny Man.
Cannot say that I have.
Oh shit.
All right, so the legend supposedly started that in 1904, there was a bus crash transferring a bunch of patients from an insane asylum in Fairfax County, Virginia. So it crashes. Everybody escaped. They recaptured everyone with the exception of one person. Shortly after, a bunch of dead bunnies started appearing around the area, and many are hanging or hanged from the Fairfax Station Bridge. Now, see, none of this is true because there wasn't a thing, but there is a true story of the Bunny Man. So in 1970, in the same area of Fairfax County, a pair of mysterious and scary incidents occurred in the area that involved a man dressed in a bunny suit, a full-sized bunny suit. A young couple was taking a nighttime drive when a man dressed in a white bunny suit hurled an axe at their car. While it was, it broke the car window. Neither one of them was hurt. Then 2 weeks later, a Fairfax County man discovered an axe-wielding guy in a bunny suit chopping up the porch of a recently built unoccupied house. He was gone by the time the police arrived. So those two stories are true.
I just feel it's the Easter Bunny looking for the eggs that everybody stole.
Yeah. You took my babies.
Where are my eggs, motherfuckers?
Give me the eggs.
So yeah, the bridge that I talked about in the thing supposedly has been now it's referred to as the Bunnyman Bridge, and it even says so on Google Maps.
Oh wow!
So yeah, the Bunnyman, he's coming to get you.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's so weird. Why a bunny?
I would freak out, to be honest.
That's terrifying.
A bunch of hanging dead bunnies, just like
Well, imagine you're just driving down the road at night, and then there, as you're passing by, there's a man just in a bunny suit, just standing there. That's terrifying.
Well, the way I imagined it, they were driving, and he was standing in the middle of the road, and he just threw the axe.
Yeah.
Straight at the car while they were driving.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously scary, but what I'm picturing is literally just a man just standing on the side of the road as I'm passing by. That's terrifying to me.
You know, I mean, honestly, I think Virginia's not an open carry state, is it?
Might be. Well, Virginia is for lovers. That's a reference that only Virginians will understand.
Okay, I guess so, because I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I know it's not hard to get guns down there. So it's just like, I feel like you can't be pulling that shit in these types of states, like, because you just get shot. I don't know how these people get away with it pretty well. Like,
that reminds me. That reminds me of those clowns. Remember those clowns that were showing up around America during COVID?
It's all over.
Yeah.
Like they're just in the roads and just.
Didn't someone do that in Texas and got shot?
Probably.
I bet. I didn't hear about that, but I would not doubt that.
It's Texas for you,
no one in Texas, he probably got chopped in half, like with a sword, because.
Oh yeah, because they got that. Yeah, it's open carry with blades now. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go next. I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you with a urban legend from Egypt.
Oh yeah. You gotta start with the hometown.
Yeah, real.
Upside down.
And it's
pyramids.
funny. I didn't even think like I knew about this. I got told stories of this as a kid, and I never thought of it as an urban legend until I was just like looking stuff online, and it came up, and I was like, wow, this is actually an urban legend. Like so it was just like, for me to not have that connection was just hilarious. But so this is also a creature. This is the Egyptian version of the Chupacabra. All right, it's called Sel'awa.
You want to say that again?
Sel'awa.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. And what it is, it's a mysterious wolf, jackal, fox hybrid of a creature that is said to live in the desert and mountains and remote places in Egypt. It actually originated in the times of pharaohs, when it was told that this creature attacked anyone who tries to trespass on a temple or a graveyard. Now, in modern times, adults use this to scare the shit out of kids. So, one that includes a man and his wife's sister who transformed into the Sel'awa every night. So apparently there are Sel'awas out there too.
Would you date your girl still if she was one of those?
Well, she's not Egyptian, but yes, I would still date her as long as she just doesn't kill me. Because that'd be cool. We'll have like hybrid babies. Start train. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Start training Sel'awa kids. Turn them into superheroes.
It's a new world.
The two women will go out in secret every night to dig up people from their graves and eat their remains. When the man followed them once and saw them, they were what they were. He confronted his wife the next day, and she was furious and kept him alive for the sake of their two children. So the stuff that I heard as a kid was that so they kind of, like, my grandparents kind of used this thing for any time we misbehaved and they wanted us to do something. They used this to scare the shit out of us. And, like, this thing was, like, the smartest creature. It could, like, do everything, right? And one of the things I was told when I was younger is that it, like, so we don't open the door to strangers, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, if you hear a knock, if no one's home and you're home alone and you hear knocking on the door, and don't ever open the door because it will be Sel'awa, because it'll come up to the door because it knows you're home alone, and it'll knock. And it won't answer when you say, who is it? Right? So it'll knock and then wait for you to open the door, and then it'll kidnap you and eat you.
Damn.
And yeah, so like this thing was like supposedly very smart. It can like walk up to doors and knock like a human, and stuff like that. So I think it's just like an interesting like urban legend, because like when you hear about other stuff throughout the world, there's like very similar urban legends, and it's interesting that humans come up with like the same thing all over, without a lot of contact. Yeah, it's very cool. But that's
same parenting techniques, just all around. Just to piggyback off yours, just might as well jump into ours. We have in Latin cultures, especially Puerto Rican, like I'm Puerto Rican, so is Dan. We have the Chupacabra, as you mentioned, and that actually translates to chupa, which means to suck, and cabra, which is goat. So it's the goat sucker. And pretty much back in 1995, there's like Puerto Rican like news incidents where a lot of their cattle were getting killed and slaughtered, and apparently the blood was like sucked out of them, and so they blamed the chupacabras, and eventually, I feel like parents used it as a technique, like they did your parents. Like eventually, it'd be like, oh, if you go out at night, the chupacabra will get you. I used to be terrified, especially throwing out the garbage. I'd just be like, flashlight.
Yeah.
Like, so
you did the. I used to do too, like the whole. Like fucking just throwing the garbage at the curb and running my ass back to the door.
Full speed, just terrified.
Yeah. Also did the same thing whenever I went into the basement and it was dark. Like running up the stairs into the light will stop whatever's coming after me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it's...
oh, man. I was terrified of my basement.
I was a bitch back in the day.
My basement was like pitch black, and... it would always just look creepy, and there's
first of all, your basement looked like fucking serial killers lived down there.
Exactly.
Had that
I've only been in your basement
like
once or twice, yeah.
I only saw it from up the stairs, and I was like, I ain't going down there. I'm going to go missing. I'm going to go missing. I ain't going down there.
You again. It does look like one of those.
You just go down there, and all you hear is like Xena just...
One time I felt like
as shit if I heard that. Oh my god!
One time I was down there, I felt like a breath on the back of my neck. I don't know if it was I was younger or whatever, but that shit always terrified me. After that, I like ran upstairs, and I never went back down there for like a solid couple months. I was just like, nope.
See, with me, it was the basement. I never really had issues. When I was younger, the attic was one that would get me, and so when I was like 4 or 5 years old, around there, my mom, home health aide, was taking care of a woman who was like an aunt to me, and she even invited all of us to live there. So we lived there. It was a nice house. It was in Cranford, New Jersey, and the attic was one of those where you pull down the steps, and for some reason, like when you pull down the wooden steps and like the wood up top, like it would constantly scratch, and it got to the point where it would just make like this weird figure like type of face, and then legit looked like freaking Jesus by the time we moved out of it. I was like, that's crazy.
So Jesus in the attic.
I was like, why is Jesus' face on this piece of wood? Whatever. And then you go up there and it would just be creepy. And then move to where I lived in Elizabeth, where you guys remember when you called it West Bubblefuck. That attic was another one I always thought was creepy. And then I remember one day I went up there and I must have been around 8-9 years old. There was a doll the same size as me. An old doll.
Oh my goodness!
And it was one of the most terrifying. Yes, terrifying.
That's so fucking creepy.
I remember telling my mom, and she was like, "That's the devil." Like,
that's Jesus. That doesn't help either.
And the thing is, because this house belonged to my father's side of the family for years, so it used to belong to my grandfather. So my father sees it eventually. We tell him about it. He's like, "Oh, that belonged to your aunt when she was a kid," and I guess we put it up there. We never took care of it, and then it was just terrifying. Of course, I mean, initially I was like, "Oh my god, what is that thing?" And then eventually gave it to one of my cousins.
He passed the curse.
Good
riddance. He survived.
Yeah. And one thing I want to mention with the Chupacabra real quick. So that happened. What was the year, Danny, where it first started?
1995.
All right, and it kept on occurring for a couple more years after that.
Yeah.
And guess where I was living in 97? In Puerto Rico.
Nice.
So it was like one random year of my life where I did a year in Puerto Rico. And I remember every day I was like, Chupacabra this, Chupacabra that. There was a song. There was like 2 or 3 songs that Chupacabra was involved in. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, you were raised by the Chupacabra.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, you want to go next?
Sure. It's my turn. I alluded to this the other day when we were talking about the subject. I want to talk about Hanako-san. So.
Hanako-san.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're getting into the Japanese. We're getting to the Japanese. So Hanako-san.
Wrestler?
No, not yet. It's a she. It's a Hanako. She's known as she could be described as a yokai or a yurei. I don't know how to pronounce that, but basically she haunts toilets. So if there's ever been a more vulnerable place,
Oof.
I don't know it, but it's toilets. So up on Wikipedia, I have a little thing here. I'm going to read this. So to summon Hanako-san, it is often said that individuals must enter a girl's toilet, usually on the 3rd floor of a school, knock 3 times on the 3rd stall, and ask if Hanako-san is present. If Hanako-san is there, she will reply with some variation of "yes, I am." Depending on the story, the individual may then witness the appearance of a bloody or ghostly hand. The hand, or Hanako-san herself, may pull the individual into the toilet, which leads to hell.
Wow.
Or the individual may be eaten by a 3-headed lizard who claims the individual was invading Hanako's privacy.
Wow.
So that's Hanako-san. Now, when I first heard about Hanako-san, I had heard it was a thing where it's like it's same. You'd use the stall. It would be the 3rd one on the 3rd floor of a school, and as you're just doing your business in the stall, Hanako-san, the image apparates it and it shows up, and she says red or blue. And this leads to another one where I sent you guys an image in the group chat, where I think what I heard was a combination of Hanako-san and this one. His name is Akamanto, where he does what I'm about to say, where he shows up in the stall, except he has he tells you, do you want a red cloak or a blue cloak? Do you want a red cape or a blue cape? Or he has 2 different shades of toilet paper, one red, one blue, and you have to pick one.
I saw that.
If you pick red, what happens is some variation of you being murdered in such a horrible way that you're just red all over because of blood. In his version, it's also possible that he might flay all the skin off your body and then make you wear it as a cape. And if it's blue, he sucks all the blood out of you. I've also heard in the old Hanako things that if you say blue, then she's going to just suffocate you in the toilet. And don't say yellow. And,
Damn.
Yeah, so there's that. So supposedly to survive this curse, you're supposed to say, no thanks, I'm good. Or try to leave and hope that they don't block the way. But Hanako-san.
Politeness is how you get out of this. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
And
I'm
Akamanto.
sorry.
You're like,
excuse me.
no, thank you.
I'm sorry, were you using the stall?
I'm just gonna leave. But that's crazy though. That's wow.
Yeah.
Drag you to hell, eat you.
Damn, through the toilet, son. Ow.
I would just
trying to take a shit.
I would take a laxative.
Yeah.
Right. And call this bitch, and as soon as she's trying to come out the toilet, just let it rip. Just let it rip.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna send you to hell.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that was another one. As you don't say yellow, you also don't say brown.
But it's funny because when I was a kid, like my imagination controlled my surrounding.
Okay.
So like if I heard something or somebody in the school say like, yo, like they found snakes in people's toilets or some shit like that.
It must be real.
And like, no, I know it wasn't real, but then I would get these moments where like the fear would take over and I'd be sitting taking a shit and my shit goes down and splashes like on me and I think there's a snake trying to get me. And I would freak the fuck out.
Just run out, your ass is out, you'd even wipe, just screaming around the house. The snakes are trying to get me.
Naked.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what I mean? So with like Hanako, I'd be like, damn, this bitch is trying to get me.
Just trying to
Also, it'd be funny if she does 1,000 Years of Pain.
Mm.
That's a reference for you Naruto fans out there.
I'm just afraid I'm gonna take a shit and then she's just gonna pop it back into my butthole. Like, I would be terrified. Like, no, I just shit that shit.
It's like I don't want it back. That's why I shit it out. Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
Whose turn is it? Is that
Eslam? What you got?
Yeah,
Eslam?
it's my turn. My goodness. All right. You guys have heard of the Bermuda Triangle, right?
Fly over it every time you go to Puerto Rico.
Nice. Did you guys know there's an Alaskan Triangle?
No.
That's right. There is an Alaska Triangle. All right. The Alaska Triangle, sometimes called Alaska's Bermuda Triangle, is a place in the untouched wilderness of the frontier state where mystery lingers and people go missing at a very high rate. They go missing at a higher rate than the Bermuda Triangle. The area began attracting public attention in October 1972 when a small private plane carrying U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs, Alaskan Congressman Nick Beach, an aide, Russell Brown, and their bush pilot, Don Johns, seemingly vanished into thin air while flying from Anchorage to Juneau. For more than a month, 50 civilian planes and 40 military aircraft, plus dozens of boats, covered a search area of 32,000 square miles, but no trace of the plane, the men, wreckage, or debris were ever found. Since 1988, more than 16,000 people have disappeared in the Alaska Triangle, with a missing person rate at more than twice the national average. In any given year, 500 to 2,000 people go missing in Alaska, never to be seen again. Authorities conduct hundreds of rescue missions, most often return without finding the person. So that is the Alaska Triangle. I'm surprised with these type of stats that this hasn't been more known.
Mm-hmm.
But people going missing in Alaska is not that surprising to me.
Yeah.
Alaska's like a fucking crazy wilderness. There's bears and wolves there.
Vampires.
So if someone goes missing and they can't find the body, that's not surprising to me. Like, that shit's gonna get eaten real quick.
Yeah.
But for a plane, like if the plane crashed and like they found the debris but no bodies, I'm like, okay, scavengers came, took the bodies, ate the people,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at least the debris are there. But like, and then this area is not like really over water, right? Like, there's no like, this is all inland.
Mm-hmm.
Between Alaska and then like Yukon, which is like a part of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it's crazy that
Yeah,
like
where does
even
the plane
inland,
go?
Like
Yeah.
maybe it like disappeared in a sinkhole or something. I have no idea. But like 32,000 square miles they covered, like land, air, and sea, and like they still couldn't find shit. So that's crazy.
It's gone. He's gone.
But yeah, the Alaska
in the
Triangle,
snow.
people.
I'm gonna move
There's more
there.
triangles. What is
Mhm.
it with the
Move there.
triangles? What is it with the triangles that make people disappear?
I don't
Are
know
people
why
disappearing
you got
in the
pyramids? Why you got
Yeah,
pyramids?
that's what I was just saying.
You know. I know it's not your fault.
It could be.
It was you, Eslam.
It could be. Maybe the pyramids are what protect us from these triangles. And
Oh shit! You had to fight them triangles with triangles. I see what you're talking
exactly. Yeah. Cancel them out. Maybe that's why there's 3 pyramids, and now we only know of 2 triangles. Maybe there's a third out there that we don't know
man.
about. We know the
Triangles-
Bermuda, the Alaskan.
triangles
There's
are-
another triangle out there.
about. Triangles are a strong shape. That's why they build trusses like in triangles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll take the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one's a Japanese one. It's called Namazu or Ono Namazu, which is giant catfish, or catfish, or Ono Namazu's giant catfish.
Okay.
And the Namazu is a mythical creature that lives underwater, like deep in the ocean, deep under Japan, and it supposedly causes earthquakes, giant earthquakes, and that's how they explain earthquakes. And
Makes sense.
when I first saw that, I was just like, catfishes, earthquakes. It didn't. I'm not seeing any.
Well, it makes sense because catfish, in the wild, they're in the sediment. Like they kind of just like they're on the ground, of the water. Like they go all the way down and they're in the sediment and they kind of like bury themselves a little bit. So it makes sense that those are the things that will.
That does make sense, and that leads into my next point, where in 1855 there's the Edo earthquake, and there's an account that day from an eel fisherman that's saying that there an unusual amount of active catfish that day, and then. So during that day, he was just like, "What the heck? What is that?" Like, and then
they just sensed it
during that night or something. The Edo earthquake happened, and ever since then, there's a catfish earthquake correlation. And whenever you see catfish, it's like, "Oh, get ready for an earthquake." And I thought that was pretty interesting because I genuinely learned something new. And
it's very cool.
I'd never put catfish and earthquakes together. I saw that, and I was just like, "No way! What the?"
I mean, a lot of animals sense earthquakes, right? Like if you're ever in a place and you see animals running. Oh, actually, they can sense tsunamis too. Like if you're ever in a place and you see animals running away from the water, like go with them. Like, but yeah.
You follow those.
Yes, hurricanes also.
Follow those animals.
Cats can kind of sense thunderstorms because their fur gets staticky.
Mm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because of the buildup in the air. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
remember that the cat, the Japanese cat that
the hand?
The hand.
Yeah, with the hand. The myth behind that is that there was a monk like traveling, and then he saw like this cat that he thought was waving to him at this little monastery. So he went to it, and what the cat was doing was actually like cleaning itself. And then right when he got to it, like thunder struck where he was before, and the cat was doing that because like of its like the static in the air and its fur. It's very cool. Yeah. Animals, superpowers. Let's go.
Cats just randomly clean themselves too. They're always cleaning themselves, especially my cat.
I never liked when they do the really long leg, and then they're just looking in there looking at you. Stop it.
It's so seductive, too, when my cat does it. It's just like it looks like a rabbit leg almost, and it's just up straight, and she's like, making eye contact. Like, ew, do you know this? Stop looking at me.
Oh, man.
She's still so cute.
Let me know if there's anybody has like kittens or something. Disco in Jersey, trying to get one. Where'd you guys get your cat?
My girlfriend's friend got it off at, I don't even know where she got it, to be honest, but she got it for a couple of days, and then she decided she didn't want it, so then my girlfriend got it for free. So.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I have a cousin that always shows up around 4th of July and finds stray cats, and we take them.
Oh, okay.
So just
ask
me around 4th of July.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for kittens. If anybody listening that knows any kittens in Jersey, I want one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's literally how we got all our cats. They were stray kittens. And then we just
how many cats do you have?
We got 3.
Oh, I thought you only had
3
one. I didn't know.
No, it's Mota and then Gollum and Smeagol.
Oh, right. I forgot about Gollum and Smeagol.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'll go next. And I'm sticking with toilets. So, back in the day.
It's got a theme.
Back in the day, supposedly there's this old legend where a husband and wife was using can of spray, aerosol, and then for some reason sprayed in so much into the room it got into the toilet. Husband goes in, smokes a cigarette, throws cigarette into toilet. Toilet explodes. And that's the longest. That's like one of these old school like things where it's like careful because you do that and then you're gonna have an exploding toilet. So I did some research, and I don't know if that occurrence has ever happened, but I found so many stories about exploding toilets. I need to tell you guys.
Oh yeah. I'm not surprised.
It's exciting.
So
especially if the toilet doesn't have like that water sitting in it, it'll definitely explode. Because then you have like that gas coming up.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, during a thunderstorm, a Florida woman, of course, was relaxing at home when a deafening boom roared through her house. Few could have guessed the source of the noise. Lightning struck near her septic tank, igniting the methane gas, and blowing her toilet to pieces. She was saying, she quoted, the woman's name was Mary Lou Ward. She stated, "It was the loudest noise I've ever heard. We got out of bed and came over and the toilet was laying on the floor."
Yeah.
There was another one.
There's a ghost took a shit in that thing and just boom, blew it off its hinges.
So there's another one where a consumer says that his fiance was sitting on the toilet when it exploded. So he walked in the room and said the lid came down and hit her in the back. He went to the doctor, who said there was bruising on her lower back. The doctor suggested that she take a couple days off. The consumer says there's nothing left of his toilet. This was a bursting of a Flushmate 2 in 3 units. I don't know. There was pressure involved that was strong enough to shatter toilet. No, it was a screwed up toilet manufacturer thing called Flushmate that just wasn't doing it. It was.
I'll be so mad if I have to take a shit and then my toilets just explode. Like
yeah.
Where do I?
God, I'd be so upset.
I got another one. In 2013, a Brooklyn man said he was hit with toilet shrapnel.
Oh my God!
When he flushed during a scheduled plumbing work on his building. His attorney claimed 3 other toilets in the building also exploded. Then in Palo Alto, California, city workers clearing a clogged sewer line in 2007 allegedly sent raw sewage spewing from a man's toilet over 3 feet into the air. A similar case in Baltimore might be the most disgusting example of all. A woman there claimed that high-pressure sewer work sent a filthy geyser from her toilet while she was sitting on it. The old man.
Let's picture shooting Master Roshi at you.
All right, so she was sitting on the toilet. A filthy geyser from her toilet shot up, blowing her off the seat and leaving her soaked in human waste.
Wow, that's disgusting.
They got a quote from her. She said, "I was literally covered in feces. Are you kidding me? Who wants that?"
Yeah. Nobody wants that, lady. I completely agree. That's crazy.
I have one last one. It's not a toilet. Just a short little one. A Japanese company offered free repairs on electric bidets that were bursting into flames in 2007.
Wow. Wow.
So if there's one thing I want everybody to... I don't know. If there's one thing I want listeners to come away from this podcast is beware of your toilet. It's out to get you.
Shit's real.
Exactly.
Yeah, Hanako's gonna put that shit back in your booty hole.
It's gonna make the toilet explode on your ass cheeks.
How would you even explain that to the general public? Like, I was raped by a ghost with my own shit, and my toilet exploded. Like,
they would literally put you in a mental hospital. That's what would happen. So you just keep that shit to yourself.
Literally.
Which is what Hanako made you do.
Yeah, she said, "You keep this."
There has to be a help group for the Hanako victims.
I'm sure you could find one on Reddit.
Oh man, it's a subreddit called Hanako Help. What you got us?
Hanako's Anonymous.
All right, my last urban myth is not Uncle. I keep saying Uncle.
Iroh.
Was Mr. Roger a killer?
Who?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Roger.
Rogers.
Mr. Roger. Oh.
Mr. Rogers. Okay. Yeah. Was he a killer? All right. So, you know Fred Rogers or Mr. Rogers from the children's program, which broadcast from 1968 to 2001.
Oh my God.
And maybe you've heard that those sweaters were concealing a dark past. That before teaming up with Henrietta Pussycat and King Friday the 8th, Fred Rogers was the ultimate badass, a tattooed, death-dealing sniper. It is a common urban legend. Mr. Rogers was in Vietnam. Mr. Rogers was a Navy SEAL. Mr. Rogers was a Marine sniper. Maybe Mr. Rogers' neighborhood was so so nice because he's a battle-hardened ex-operator keeping everything in line. So that is the myth behind Mr. Rogers, and it is completely untrue, but it is a cool myth nonetheless because he was literally the nicest person on Earth. And to think that he was like a fucking Marine sniper back in the day in Vietnam, like a fucking cigar in his mouth, just shooting people from like a mile away.
It's a happy day in my neighborhood.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know
exactly.
He was dresses up as the Punisher at night. Like.
Nah, he was just out there in Vietnam in cardigans putting bodies down. Like,
he loves
that's
the
wild.
smell of napalm in the morning.
Oh, good Lord.
That's a good one.
Mr. Rogers, a sniper. Next time I create a sniper character, I'm going to name him Mr. Rogers.
You create sniper characters?
Like Captain America?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just talking like in a video game, in like a shooting video game that I'm never going to play.
It's like, what does that mean?
Maybe I'll create Mr. Rogers in Cyberpunk when I eventually get to playing it.
I made David Spade in Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was hilarious.
I play as David Spade.
Shit. All right, let's. You guys want to jump into some news?
Hold on, I got one more. It's this one goes out to all my exes. This is called an Echidna, and it's a monster that's half snake and half woman. I just want to throw that out there.
Okay, that's cool. I definitely agree with you on that one. Throw to the devil that I knew back in the day.
It's called the mother of monsters too, but I thought that was a funny joke. But we could go on to news now.
All right, I'll go first. I don't have that money, but sorry, I'm pulling them up. New Daredevil series in the works for Disney Plus with returning cast like the Daredevil actor.
You good?
You got this? You want to start over? We can run it back. We'll cut that part.
The new cast, like the Daredevil.
I think it's that time of the night where my brain is like, time to turn off the lights.
I got you. It's
the
Charlie
caffeine
Cox.
is running out.
Charlie, thank you.
Charlie Cox.
New Daredevil. All right, guys, let's jump into some news.
Yeah.
I'll go first. New Daredevil series in the works for Disney Plus with returning cast member Charlie Cox, with also Matt Corman and Chris Ord attached to write and executive produce the show. Squid Game Season 2 arrives as early as 2023, which is exciting news. I thought it was going to take way longer for the guy to kind of, write it out. So we'll see. Hopefully it's good. Adult Swim is making a 10-episode Rick and Morty anime. Now, if you don't know what that means anime in a Japanese style, not an animated series, because it's already an anime series. It's an anime. Just clarifying that for the people who don't watch anime or know anything.
Morty-kun!
Loki Season 2 starts filming soon with entire cast returning. Also, Disney Plus has said Loki was the most streamed of the Marvel shows that they've released so far. And then last but not least, Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy is on hold, says Lucasfilm, because he is very busy with Knives Out. So we won't be getting any new Star Wars movies as of yet, but Star Wars shows are, rolling out every other day, making spin-offs of each other, so we won't be running out of Star Wars content anytime soon.
Not as long as Disney has them. They're just gonna be like.
Oh, no one else is gonna. No one's gonna buy Lucasfilm from Disney.
George Lucas
it's over.
will finagle his way back.
But yeah. Alright, who wants to go next?
I'll go next since you pretty much covered all my.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, this is everything Danny told me that he was going to talk about.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, that's cool. This week we also had the emergence of the monkeypox in America for the first time. Our first case.
I heard about it this morning. Yeah,
this happened in Massachusetts. Apparently, this man, this gentleman, traveled to Canada and came back with monkeypox. It's
damn.
Apparently, like chickenpox, like little like dots and stuff, and like I guess wart-like stuff on the skin. There's 9 cases in the UK and 5 cases in Portugal. It's still an emerging, I guess, infection. Apparently, CDC says there's nothing to worry about. The person is in hospital. He's in okay condition, and everything should be fine. And just interesting. I've never heard monkeypox. I was like, these motherfuckers are just making up diseases now. Monkeypox.
Yeah,
I was like, come on. Shoot. What else? She Hulk, Attorney at Law, coming to Disney Plus. It's going to be a 9-episode series, and apparently she specializes in superhuman cases. I haven't seen the trailers yet, but that's as far as I know. Kind of really not interested in it, and it's just not calling to me. I've actually seen majority of the shows on Disney Plus, like the Hawk, the Hawkeye, the Moon Knight, and the What If, and the WandaVision. And for the most part, I've always gone into them like, but then I'll come out like, this was not that bad. But I'm not even, this She-Hulk doesn't even look appealing to me at all. So I might not even.
Yeah, I actually finished Moon Knight. It was interesting to see my culture on TV.
Yeah.
Or my ancient culture on TV.
I like what they did with the wife. I don't think that was my favorite part.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of people's favorite part. Plus, she's a hottie, so you know.
Yeah, she's pretty attractive.
Yes.
But those wings, spoiler alert, those wings, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. A little twist at the end. I don't know if you stayed
the whole her, like, the little girl asking her, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" I was like, this is the corniest line I've ever heard in my life.
That. Yeah, they could have done a little better on that. But
yeah, it was just
at the end,
so.
I thought it was pretty cool. The twist, I wanted to see the third personality, and at the end, there was just like, "Oh, this is it, cut." And now there's never going to be any more Moon Knight, and it sucks.
You never know. Well, they'll probably make a second season.
No, they said they're not already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know if they're going to bring the third personality into other Marvel movies. I read that somewhere, but I don't know for sure. But back to She-Hulk, not really interested in that.
I'm assuming there's going to be some crossover with Daredevil. Like, there has to be, right?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I think I read that somewhere. They're both attorneys at law.
That's what I'm saying,
Maybe she's got a few tips for She-Hulk. Him. Next, I have next news piece is pertaining to Witcher Season 3 for all my Witcher fans out there. Apparently, they casted 2 new sorceresses, Rochelle Rose and Sophia Ingor. I'm sorry if I butchered their names. I think I said it right. But they're expected
Those
to
are
play,
the character names, right?
Those are the actresses. The character names are Margarita Lowe Antilo and Kiera Metz. I actually know Kiera Metz, so it's kind of cool to see her.
Wow, the actresses' names sounded
like they fit.
Witcher.
They fit in the Witcher world.
Like they could just use their real names. Like that's wild.
Sophia Ingor.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
No, yeah, for real. And last piece of news, spoilers. Mandy Moore died on This Is Us, and I was kind of a little sad because she was my crush growing up. I liked her ever since
I thought she died for real. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a weird way to lead it. I was like, did Mandy Moore die? I was
in
like,
the show, This Is Us.
I got you.
Okay.
Like, jeez.
Yeah. So that happened. And
she's
sad.
like in one of my favorite segments of Scrubs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
man. Why is she crying? She's not saying this is sad.
I forgot that was her. Yeah. No, my thing is, it's like an opening in one of the episodes, and it's just really fast. If you don't see it, you'll miss it. Well, no, it's pretty obvious. But they say how she's like a klutz and she's clumsy and everything. So they show a point where I'm gonna have to. I don't want to make noise. Where she goes to like lean on her arm like this, where she rests her hand,
and she hits,
and
her
then
head.
she slips and it just bam, and then like hits her face on the thing.
Yeah.
And then she like looks up. She's like, "Did you see that?"
Yeah. I remember that. That was funny.
That's one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
Yeah. She did it really well too.
Oh, so good! Like she smacked her head on the table hard. Like
yeah.
What movie
That
was
shit made a sound.
What movie was that? Or...
That's Scrubs,
Oh,
the TV show.
Scrubs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All
right.
Over to you, I guess.
Yeah. So I have a decent amount of wrestling news. I'm gonna run through it real quick. One quick one, I want to say. Sorry, I got my stuff all mixed up and I can't get the right tab no matter what I do. AEW Dynamite occurred and they have the Owen Hart tournament that's going on. One of the wrestlers was supposed to be like a Joker in the thing that was like a mysterious person. We don't know who it was that was going to fight Samoa Joe. And it ended up being Johnny Elite. Now, Johnny Elite is also known as John Morrison. But in AEW, he's going to be going by Johnny Elite. He did not sign a contract, but he showed up. But the funny thing I just want to mention about Johnny Elite, so I don't know if you guys know him, but he's gone by so many different names, and he always adopts the name of the company or somewhat representing the company when he says it. So he's gone by the names of Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, Johnny Blackcraft, Johnny Blaze, Johnny Caballero, Johnny Elite, Johnny Game Changer, Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Onyx, Johnny Superstar, and Johnny Ultra. So now he also has Johnny Elite added to his thing.
Nice.
So he was in there. He wrestled Samoa Joe. It was a good showing. Then another one I want to mention real fast. Ric Flair is making an attempt. Not even making an attempt. He's going to wrestle again at the age of 73 years old. Ric Flair is going to wrestle on July 31st, Sunday. It's the day after SummerSlam. It's going to be on Fight TV. It's like an indie show. It's being called Jim Crockett Promotions Presents Ric Flair's Last Match. We don't know what kind of match is going to happen, but rumors were, and they have been debunked, that it was going to be a 6-man tag, meaning 3 against 3. It was supposed to be Ric Flair teaming up with FTR, who are the current AAA and Ring of Honor tag team champions right now, probably the hottest tag team in the world. They're badass. And they're going to be going up against the Rock and Roll Express and I'm blanking on his name. Rock and Roll Express and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now, the funny thing about that is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is 69 years old and has been retired for a long time.
That's wild.
The Rock and Roll Express are Ricky Morton, 65 years old, and Robert Gibson is 63 years
Are
old.
they having a geriatric, fucking division?
At what point is this like the craziest insurance liability? Everybody's about to have a heart attack on stage. It's like
So, the funny thing is, the Rock and Roll Express themselves have yet to retire. They might be sort of partially retired. They've been wrestling since, I think, the 80s without stopping. They still regularly wrestle. It's these two old men with mullets going out there and having these badass matches. So that was what was supposed to happen, and then Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's just nah, I'm not trying to do this. I'm 69.
He's a smart one.
It's got some sense.
These guys are gonna break hips.
Somebody's gonna blow their back for sure. It'll just be
100%.
So I have a thing on what Ric Flair said. He was asked about this. So according to Kate Side Seats, there's an article by Kane Knight, check it out, where there's a couple excerpts by Ric Flair. He says, I just want to address a few things that I think people need to hear about. I would say it's 70% positive for the people wanting the fight, and 30% of people are more worried about him, getting back in the ring. He says he has to get quicker, he has to get faster, in better shape. He's been training with John Cena's personal trainer. He says that he's in good shape. He says he can go. And it's saying that it's not for the money. He just wants to do what he can. He's like, I'm considered one of the greatest wrestlers ever. I want to go out there and prove I could do it. Then he went on to say, if I can crash in that airplane with a pilot killed and 2 guys are paralyzed and get back on another plane and fly 6 months later, you could do anything. So I almost died 4 years ago. I got a pacemaker. I almost died of a plug clot. I had 4 heart operations in 7 weeks. I'm good to go. So, Ric Flair, he feels like he's good to go. He said that he did speak to a doctor, a heart doctor, and they're like, "Hey, Rick, if you think you got it, you got it, man." Ric
Those
Flair.
are bad doctors.
I don't feel confident. This man had every surgery known to man. I think you should take it easy, Rick.
Yeah. He said that he
Why
did
is
have...
he wrestling?
He wants
Is
to just-
WWE this desperate?
I told you, it has nothing to do with WWE. WWE's not in any
not
way
him.
involved. It's an indie show.
Who's he wrestling for?
It's an indie show. Yeah, it's being
Jesus.
promoted by basically him and his son-in-law, Conrad, who's like big and like he's like the biggest wrestling fan there is. So it's supposed to take place after the Starrcade event, which is like a kind of like a wrestling convention that they do. But
That's wild.
yeah, so Flair.
Oh my goodness! I hope I'm not hearing Ric Flair died in the ring.
I hope I'm not talking about that on a podcast one day.
Exactly, like
I
that's
hope he dies
wild.
getting the W though. Like if he does, like he just pins him on
God
3,
damn it,
dead. I mean, if he
Jesus.
gotta go, I think that would be epic. Just be like, no, this man really just went right here for the love of the craft. That would be amazing. Dedication.
Yeah, it looks like it's still happening. I just hope he's okay.
Yeah, me too. God,
He's gonna need another surgery after this.
I don't know.
shit, I need a nap just hearing what happened to him.
So another one I want to mention real quick is that in New Japan Pro Wrestling, there is a tournament going on. No, it is not the G1 Climax. They do have multiple tournaments throughout the year. I've never mentioned this on the podcast, but
It's the G2 climax.
for this one, it's the Best of the Super Juniors, the BOSJ. So that's happening. It's where they take
BOSJ.
It's where
That
they
sounds
take
like a burger. I'll take a Super Junior.
Don't they have that at Carl Jr.'s?
I don't know. I've never been.
Actually, it might be.
So the Super Juniors are the lighter heavyweights. That's what
Can I
they're
get
referred
pickles
to.
on the side?
WWE uses cruiserweights. Other people use light heavyweights. They have these different things. So that's happening real quick. They have a lot of good wrestlers from different promotions, from New Japan proper, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, which is CMLL, Impact Wrestling GLEAT, which I never even heard of, but it's a Japanese promotion, and AEW. So I'm just going to run through some people real quick. They got Ace Austin, Hiromu Takahashi, Alex Zane, Taiji Ishimori, Francesco Akira, Sho, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Ryusuke Taguchi, Clark Connors. That's Block A. Then Block B.
Taguchi.
Yeah. Block B, they have El Fantasma, El Desperado, Doki, also Dookie, Robbie Eagles, TJ Perkins, Wheeler Yuta, El
Dookie.
Lindaman, Bushi, Master Wato, and Titan.
Dookie Taguchi.
So 2 different people. So they're having this tournament. It's always a good one. is a very good showing. He made it to the finals last year, losing to Hiromu Takahashi, who then went on to Wrestle Kingdom, and I believe he lost to El Desperado. All 3 of those
I
are
think
in
it
this
was
tournament.
Taguchi.
It wasn't Taguchi. He was competing for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, and he
And
lost,
then
but he did
Dookie
win at the
came
next
out
one.
from the
Dookie was
back.
not there at the Wrestle Kingdom
Got
show. So Best of the Super Juniors is happening. I'll be talking about that a little bit here and there. Also, WWE did not fire anybody this week, but Stephanie McMahon did quit. So...
Oh shit. That's funny.
So Stephanie McMahon is taking a leave of absence from WWE. She does plan on returning later on in the future, but for now she's leaving. She wants to focus more on her family, which is cool since seeing how Triple H not that long ago had his heart condition and stuff. So she wants to spend time with her family. That's great. Also, she's doing a
These
lot of business
wrestlers and
things.
their heart conditions.
Yeah, right.
Stop
But
taking
drugs.
steroids, fellas.
with Stephanie McMahon leaving, Nick Khan, the guy who many people blame for the multiple firings and releases of wrestlers, is jumping in and taking her position now. Nick Khan, who
Nice.
I know a lot of people are not happy about, but he's in there. And last news story I want to talk about is the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Sasha Banks and Naomi, walked out on an episode of Raw before the show had started. They had some issues with the match that was going to occur that night. They walked up to John Laurinaitis, who's head of talent relations. They had suitcases in their hands. They dropped off their title belts and walked out the building.
Wow.
So everybody's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Supposedly, they're stating that there might be issues with either storyline, how the titles are not being prominent, which is true. Like, nobody gives a damn about the tag team. There's literally only one women's tag team in WWE, and it's them, the champions. So it's like there's just a combination of just two women that would fight them every once in a while when they remember that the belts exist. So that's happening, and also there's rumors that Naomi, her contract is ending soon, so she might be doing this as a kind of like trying to come up with a reason. It's like, listen, I'll leave whatever you guys need me. I'm a champion. I'm trying to stay. A lot of other wrestlers that got re-signed by WWE, they were offered a lot more money to stay and not go to places like WWE. I mean, to AEW. So she doesn't have that leverage because she's related to Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. So, like, you want to stay because you got family here. So this might be her trying to get leverage in order to get them to pay her more money. Sasha Banks has had issues like this in the past. So a lot of people are putting it on her, saying that she's causing the whole thing. A lot of people are supporting Naomi but kind of blaming Sasha. But the rumor has it was there was supposed to be a 6-woman match where Naomi was supposed to win, go on, fight the Raw Women's Champion. Sasha was supposed to then later on fight the SmackDown Women's Champion, being Ronda Rousey there. And they were supposed to compete for these world titles. But in doing so, that makes the women's tag titles not matter. Because why are these girls fighting for these other titles when they're already champions?
So they can have 4 belts.
Yeah. But anyway, that
makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. But it's kind of just, it's sad because it's like when they created these titles, it was like a big thing. Sasha was, I think she's one of the first women's tag team champions with Bayley, and it was just like, this is going to be great. People want to see a tag team women's division in WWE for years, and it's like ever since it came out, they've just not supported the thing. It's like Vince McMahon never cared about tag team wrestling, let alone women's tag team wrestling. No. But yeah, that's my news.
That's sad, man. Oh, well. You guys want to jump into final thoughts? Anybody have anything else to say? You guys got any stories?
I do want to say something. I can't remember
jumped
what.
By anybody else this week?
No, I haven't got jumped or anything. It was a nice week. Okay week. Final thoughts. I'll give one more mythological creature called the cockatrice. It's a 2-legged serpent-like dragon creature with the head of a rooster. And the cockatrice has the reputed ability to kill people by either looking at them, the death-darting eye of the cockatrice, touching them, or something. They kill by touching them or sometimes breathing on them. It's cockatrice is crazy. Don't look at a cockatrice, or you'll probably die.
I feel like you just said that because you like saying cockatrice.
That's exactly why I'm saying it as my final thoughts. Okay, and my cockatrice. Fearsome cockatrice has arrived.
I do have
what you
one.
call your penis?
The
Don't
cockatrice.
hug guys with the cockatrice. Don't.
Is that what you call your penis?
Yep.
That's my nickname for it.
I
don't look at it.
I do have a final thought. I told you guys in the group chat I got some Bojangles, and they have a Mountain Dew. I wanted to try.
The Mountain Dew. How was that?
So it's called Mountain Dew Southern Shock, exclusive to Bojangles, apparently. I got it, and it was good. It wasn't the best. It wasn't Baja Blast good, but it was good. I did enjoy it.
Okay.
I
what
will
kind of
potentially
flavor
get
is
it. It's like a fruit punch type of Mountain Dew.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Sounds
it's
interesting.
Not bad,
I
not
like
bad.
fruit punch. That sounds
yeah.
pretty good.
So I'll probably get that again at some point in the future.
Cool.
And Bojangles, got to go to Bo's.
Bojangles.
Gotta go to Bo's.
I
love it.
Thank you for listening to Los Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you hear, follow us on social media, like, subscribe, share, rate, review. Go check out the Los Wise Guys website. Go check out our YouTube videos. Please watch, engage with the videos. It helps us out a lot. Thank you for listening, and have a great week.